Welcome to the channel, everyone. Today working on my Polaris Ranger 2023 1000 XP. It's the crew. It's got the Northstar edition and it's the ultimate. But today I'm working on the front here. I am actually going to modify this front bumper. I actually thought about cutting this bumper up and making something else with it, but I happened to find this rough country, they call it a wing kit, I think, and I'm going to give that a try. If I end up not liking that, I'll just cut this bumper up and make it the way I want it. But I think this might work out. Yeah, you heard me. I'm gonna be cutting up this brand new 2023 Ranger. I'm not afraid. Like I said, I'll make it the way I want it if I don't like it when I'm done. But here they are. There's two deals here. They go on the front bumper. I gotta cut the original bumper up to get these to fit, but I'll show you as I go here. But this is what comes in the kit. You get two wings, front bumper wing kit, I believe they call that, and then you get a little box of hardware. These are actually going to go inside the tubes on the ends. I'll show you how that works out. And then you get instructions. You can scan that. I already downloaded it on my phone, so I'm ready to go. This does come pre-scratched right from Rough Country, so you're already pre-scratched and ready to go. Not happy about that, but I think I might modify these anyway, so I'm going to have to probably paint them. So not that big of a deal. This one here actually not too bad. I thought I saw a big chip. Yeah, right here. Big old chip right out of that right there. So yep, got the Rough Country logo on the ends. So yeah, first thing I got to do here is you got to measure 10.5 inches back, and you got to cut the tube off, because that's where there's a bracket behind those wings that's going to go in there. And then also you got to cut these off. There's these braces or whatever. You got to cut that off, and I believe they are just welded on the front side, so I'm hoping I'm going to slice that weld, and this thing's going to fall off. I can show you on the back side. This right here, you're going to run a bolt through that, and that's where your rubber thing is going to go through the tube on the bumper. Right here there's brackets, and you can get lights. They have a light kit. Actually, no, this came with it. I'm thinking about the rear bumper. This actually comes with some lights that go in there, but I'm gonna do something different here. I've got some lights that are gonna be turn signals as well that are going in there. I've already got some brackets custom made. Again, you'll see that later. I'm just gonna do the install on this right now, but you do get some lights. Some 6-inch LED lights, I believe, slimline, Rough Country. But I've got another bumper, the rear bumper. I think I'm going to put them in that. So yeah, I'm going to start measuring and cutting this bumper up. So I got to get to it. I'm wasting time. Okay, so a quick tip here, maybe to some new fabricators out there. When you're grinding and that flies into paint, plastic, glass, you're basically spraying that with molten sparks, and it will etch into all that stuff and ruin it. So when you're grinding, you're going to want to protect something if you don't want it to get wrecked. You can see I've got pretty much everything covered here. This is a brand new $30-some thousand Ranger. So I'm going to protect everything. So I'm going to get to cutting. Okay, so I got my mark and measured from there, 10.5 inches. And again, for maybe new fabricators, I actually marked on the outside of 10.5, and I put my tape on the inside of my mark. And I use tape here because it'll make a nice straight line. If you wrap it around and it wraps onto itself real evenly, that means you're pretty straight around. You're straight enough for what this is. So then I'm going to take my grinder and I'm actually going to just I'm going to cut on the inside of that tape. That'll give me, that should give me 10.5. Actually 10.5 right on the tape line. Okay, so I got my rubber mount right here. You can see that it's got a bolt through it and then a nut. And this is going to squeeze together. I think it expands inside the tube, but I'm just sticking it on here right now to figure out where my holes, because I got 2 mounting holes. They got to be drilled on here. So I take it, you just stick it up there about where you think it needs to be. Mark your holes, I guess, and okay, so I center punched my marked holes. I'm going to drill it out with a smaller drill bit and you got to go to 3/8. Okay, so now them holes are drilled. I actually had to go up a size to get this to fit in there. You're going to put a nut cert. And a nut cert is basically, it's just a deal I'm going to stick in there. I got my tool. I screw it on to my tool, like so. I put a little RTV around the hole. That way it seals it up. And I take my tool. That should be all I need. Now I got a nut right there that I can install my wing with. Okay, so a quick review of what I've done here. Cut the end off, clean that up, cut the brace off, clean that up. Trying not to destroy as little as paint as possible on this thing. Drilled holes. This here, they said the rib nut that hits the back of the bumper tube. I actually stuck it in there, had to kind of crush it a little bit, and then I beat it back in with a hammer. Hopefully it's going to work out. You don't need that. You don't need to drill that big of a hole for a 1/4 inch nut cert. I have 1/4 inch nut certs that have a much smaller hole. But anyway, this is ready. I'm going to put the bumper on there and kind of test bolt it on there and see how it worked out here. Okay, so there it is on, and actually I'm liking it. I'm actually liking it. It's kind of a lot of work just to add this little wing on there, but I think it's going to give it a nice, kind of a unique look. Just a little bit of a different look, and I like it. So I'm going to do the other side, and actually I'm going to, once I get the other side on and mounted like this side, I haven't done any touch-up paint work behind there. I'm thinking about, I gotta pull my covers off and look at this thing, but I'm thinking about actually trimming this end a little bit and kicking this in, because it's awful straight, and the front end of this Ranger, you'll see when I uncover it, but the front end of this Ranger is kind of rounded. So I'm thinking about cutting it somewhere around here and kind of pushing that way, because it's scratched up and I got to really paint it anyway. But we'll see. I'm going to get to working on that other side. Like I said, kind of a lot of work for just these little wings on here, but I think once I get my light, I'll show you guys, well, I'm not going to show it in this video, but once I get my light in there, I think it's going to be pretty cool. So I'm going to continue working here. Okay, so there they are, both mounted. And according to some measurements I've done, they're pretty darn close. I know there is some variation there on the mounting that could go on, but I tried to get them close, and I think they're pretty close. But I like it. Like I said, it gives it a different look that you don't see. You know, there's a lot of these Rangers out there, and it's just nice to be different. So you can see how the body kind of swoops in, and this is straight. Of course, the factory bumper's straight too, but I'm not sure it's quite this long, but I'd like to, I think as far back as I can go is right about there. And I'd like to slice this, make a notch, and kind of bend that in. So it kind of like follows the lines. And I think I'm going to do that. I was just going to leave it. It's not bad. I mean, it ain't bad the way it is. But I think I might pull these off, do my touch up on my main bumper there, and then kind of decide tomorrow what exactly I'm going to do to finish these up. Okay, so what I'm using to touch up the spots is I'm using this Rust-Oleum hard hat semi-gloss black. Same stuff I used on the roll bar when I had to touch it up. Just spraying it on a piece of cardboard using a model paintbrush just to brush it on. And once it dries, it should be pretty close. It's all going to be behind that deal anyway. And if I ever take this bumper off, I can, I guess, paint it the right way. But for now, this little touch-up's going to work. Get me back on the road with it. Okay, so I got my bumper wing, and I decided to, I'm going to bend it in. You can see I cut a notch in it right here, and I cut a notch down there. And I'm gonna, hopefully now I'm gonna bend it back, and we'll see how this works out. Okay, so there it is back on, and it's a pretty subtle mod, but when you look here you can see it actually flows with the body. It's like tries to come around. Like I said, it's pretty subtle, but I really like it. I got to re-weld this back up, top and bottom. I think I'm going to cut the other one. I'll use the pieces that I cut out of this for a template for the other side. So yeah, you can see it almost follows the body perfect there, the body line. So I like it. Well worth it. It's pretty subtle, but worth it, I think. So I'm going to get this knocked out. Okay, so there it is, all finished up. They're painted, and it's not the greatest paint job. I really wanted to Raptor line them, but I just don't have time right now. I gotta kind of get this done because I gotta use it. But anyway, and then I gotta, those are the lights that are going in it. I was gonna do another video on the lights, but again, I gotta get these in here. Them are lights. They're daytime running lights, and they're turn signals. I'll show you that whenever I get to doing the turn signal kit and stuff. But it's just, these are the lights right here, and I made this bracket that goes where the rough country lights would go right here. There's some brackets back there, and I'll bolt it on there. With this bracket, like I said, I just made that bracket out of some flat stock and bent it up, drilled some holes. So yeah, that one goes in there. So I guess maybe I'll just wrap this up. So there it is, both lights installed. And yeah, I think I'm going to show you guys those lights when I do the turn signal kit that I have for this. They have some pretty neat features on them. I will tell you they're a daytime running light and they're a turn signal. But you're going to have to wait for the turn signal kit video to see those work. But really, like this bumper. I like the mods I did to it. Kind of has that 1500 XD Ranger look, which is what I was going for. So yeah, right now I'm happy with this. So I guess guys, stay tuned for more mods on this Ranger. I have parts on the way, and I got a bunch of ideas for this thing to make it unique. So stay tuned, and I'll see you guys.